All right, everybody. So, how'd you feel about that one? How'd you feel about that result? And how do you feel about some of the assistant coaches present in that game? Again, this is the first time in a long time Seahawks fans have had to think about potential head coaching hires. So, every playoff game feels like it matters that much more because most playoff games have at least one guy of interest. And that Tampa Bay Detroit game that just happened, just wrapped up like a minute ago to my right here, definitely had a lot that mattered. So, if you weren't a believer in Ben Johnson before, I don't know if you are now, but he did have a pretty good game, 31 points, 400 yards on a good Tampa Bay defense that was the main reason why Tampa got to the playoffs. Um, it wasn't good all the way through, but in that fourth quarter, they turned it on. They put up two touchdown drives to basically put the game away. And I mean, I'm sitting here, I'm looking at Ben Johnson, and I'm going, this is the risk that you take. This is the risk that makes sense. It makes way more sense than somebody like a Bobby Slowick or somebody like a Brian Johnson or going even further down the list like a Mike Kafka. Obviously, everybody out there is a risk to some degree. Everybody out there carries with them some kind of downside, some kind of potential way it can go wrong. But this Ben Johnson guy seems to me to still be the one. Seems to me to still be the one that is actually reasonable that you could get that would really just turn your franchise around for maybe the next 20 years. I really believe that. So, I know he wasn't exactly lights out. It was a home game against a team that was just happy to be there, but that's a good Tampa Bay defense, and he put up a 30 spot on them. So I'm feeling pretty good about the Ben Johnson experience right now. And, Aaron Glenn, obviously I'm super out on him for reasons that should be extremely obvious, and it wasn't a great game, but I'll say this. 4 sacks, 2 interceptions. You force some turnovers, you get some QB pressure. I'll take note of that. Now, Detroit's defense got run all over by a team that can't really run the ball typically, so that's not good. But you got to say that this Lions defense at least was frisky out there, which that's about the best they can hope for because it's very rare on a Sunday when they're actually competent. Like they don't actually play well; they just hopefully sometimes play frisky, interesting. So yeah, I'm feeling I'm feeling kind of stock up on both those guys, but Glenn's stock is still low. And on the Tampa Bay side, of course, we've got our old buddy Dave Canales. And what do you guys think? I mean, that Detroit defense is not good, but it's a road game. It's a game where Tampa Bay is again happy to be there. You've got Baker Mayfield. You've got no run game to speak of, and you're still putting up a pretty decent number of points. You're racking up yardage. You put up well over 400 yards of offense. You've you probably maximized more or less what you could get. There isn't a lot going on talent wise on Tampa Bay's offense except for their receivers. So Canales, I gotta say, I think he did a pretty good job too. It took a while for him to get going, like I said, and Detroit's defense is not going to impress anybody. It's not like putting up 23 on that defense is something to give him a warm pat on the warm pat on the ass about. But I'm feeling kind of good about all three coaches involved in this game that might be head coaches next year. Although I seriously doubt Aaron Glenn's on the list. So, yeah. Obviously, every game that you see in the playoffs is going to do something to potentially change your mind, just like Dan Quinn. What he did last week was so bad, everybody soured on him a little bit. You had to. It was just that bad. Just like Mike McDonald yesterday. Did such a good job. Bobby Slowick, not so good. Honestly, last night, I thought Stenovich did a pretty decent job on an elite for San Francisco defense. I think that some of the issues they had more to do with some mistakes made by the players than anything schematic. So Stenovich did impress me. And then you look at a game like this and you go, yeah, I still feel like the best options are the safest ones. We all know that Ben Johnson's going to be the hottest commodity out there when head coaches are getting hired this offseason. Him and Harbaugh, and I guess Belichick, maybe Vrabel. So it's not like I'm saying anything profound when I say this, but That Ben Johnson guy, he's about to be playing in the NFC title game next week against the Niners, and if he plays well against the Niners, even if they lose, even if the Detroit Lions don't win, if he puts together a game plan that puts up some points on that 49ers defense, then he's just him, I guess. Because you got to remember, yeah, he's working with some good players on that Detroit offense, but he's also working with Jared Goff, not an elite quarterback by anyone's measure. He's working with an offensive line that had multiple injuries today that could have sunk that team, but they didn't. They got better as the game went on despite those injuries. So, yeah, just kind of trying to take the temperature of things in the coaching search. I don't know how much these games are going to affect what the Seahawks are thinking, but you'd think they'd affect them a little bit, right? You'd think they'd affect things just a little bit. So, yeah, Ben Johnson, you're still that guy. And if you do it next week, you're really going to be that guy. We might have to hire you just for taking care of the Niners. And real quick before I leave here, with the Tampa Bay loss combined with the Green Bay loss yesterday, Arizona's second first round pick is now officially settled in completely and totally at 27. It cannot go lower, it cannot go higher. So if there was any doubt about where that pick was going to be, that doubt is now gone. It does not matter if Kansas City or Buffalo wins because both those teams won 11 games. So it cannot move anymore. So Arizona is officially working with pick number 4 and pick number 27, which going into the season, I think a lot of us would have said Arizona is going to be in that top 4, top 5, but we also would have said they would have had another in the top 10. So this is very, very juicy, very, very appreciative of what Houston did to make sure that pick was as low as possible. Shout out to them. Big, big shout out to them. Shout out to the Lions, too, by the way. Congratulations to them. They deserve this NFC Championship appearance. Wishing the best for them. Wishing the best for Buffalo later today, I think, as well. So we'll see what happens later today. But in terms of stuff that is relevant to the Seahawks, it's kind of over, right? Like Bills Chiefs is an AFC game. I don't know how interested we are in that. It can't affect Arizona's pick or our pick or anybody's pick that we care about for that matter, really. And does that Buffalo Kansas City game have any coaches that you're interested in hiring for the Seahawks? I can't think of one. I'm sitting here trying to, come up with some angle here, and I don't see anybody on that Chiefs except for, I guess, Spagnuolo, and I don't think very many people are interested in him, and they probably shouldn't be. So other than that, I don't think there's anybody on the Buffalo staff. I mean, Ken Dorsey was at one point that guy, but he's not even there now because he got fired mid-season. And yeah, I think that that last game is just going to be for entertainment purposes. So see you guys later. Go Hawks. Thanks for watching. Just wanted to see where things stack up after yet another playoff game where some more assistant coaches prove themselves. In my opinion, all 3 guys are stock up from that Lions-Bucks games. Even if, again, Aaron Glenn's stock is so low, it can't really go anywhere but up. All right, see you guys later. I'm on Twitch right now, by the way. If you're watching this video right after I uploaded it, I'm on Twitch doing Sleeping Dogs. That's why I have the headset on. Pop on over there. We're having some fun. See you guys soon.